I love yuri. I always have. And while I wouldn't judge someone for thinking that I like the genre for pervy reasons, I am aware that I sound like a guy and that there are a lot of guys that fetishize lesbians. I genuinely enjoy seeing girls and women be close to each other, creating relationships and loving one another. This is partly because I can put myself in their shoes and feel a bit better about myself. When I read or watch Yuri, I can be a girl in the story. And for a non binary person that often feels very feminine, but always looks rather masculine, that bit of immersion has helped me on many occasions. That said, like I mentioned earlier, there are people that fetishize same sex couples, and whether it is harmful or how harmful it is an entire discussion that I just cannot get into today. Maybe one day, but not now. But because there are books and shows that showcase women loving women for a predominantly male gaze, it's really refreshing to come across a series that doesn't. She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat by Sakaomi Yuzaki is a story about lesbians, sort of, more on that later, written by a woman, and whose womanness shows through in the work. First, in the openness of talking about being a woman. One chapter starts with Nomoto, the woman that loves to cook, feeling absolutely terrible because of her period. And the chapter doesn't shy away from describing why she feels bad and how much having a period can suck, while also not going too in depth about everything. It's obviously meant to be easily understood by people that have periods, or know secondhand what they can be like. Second, the depiction of men in the story is not positive, but also isn't filled with hatred. Men only appear a few times, and they rarely have fully drawn faces, which shows that they don't matter to the story, not as characters, like Nomoto and Kasuka. They exist to show the struggles that women often have to face in a misogynistic society. One man tells Nomoto that her skill at cooking is beneficial because it'll allow her to be a good wife and mother. Another man tells Kasuga, completely unbidden and for no reason at all, that she ordered too much food in a restaurant. He thinks he's helping, but he's actually just insulting her. He doesn't know her at all and should have nothing to say about what she does. These briefly seen characters don't exist to make men seem bad or to make women seem better than men. They are there to demonstrate the discrimination women often face, especially in a society that is both misogynistic and homophobic. Okay, maybe that's a bit much. Society is just heteropositive, right? Yeah, I mean, you gotta make them babies. Finally, we see that this story is written by a woman in just how much care is taken with our two main characters. Though not completely fleshed out, the most we know of Nomoto and Kasuga by the end of Volume 1 is essentially that one loves to cook and the other loves to eat, like the title says. These two women feel very much alive, and they behave like average people would. No absurd decisions, no needless drama. They have the things they like, they live as they can in the world, and as the reader, we see developments happen at a realistic pace. And it also feels like we are slowly seeing more layers of Nomoto and Kasuga, digging a little deeper with each chapter. So, back to what I said about this being a story about lesbians. It's not. At least not in Volume 1, or at least not overtly. But if you know lesbians, okay, scratch that, poorly phrased. If you know what lesbian relationships are like, that's much better. Then you know that Nomoto and Kasuga become attracted to one another, and not just in a friendly way. It's subtle, but also not. I don't want to give anything away, so it's hard to explain, but it's the kind of book where a blush says a hell of a lot. And this is where the author being a woman is important. This isn't a story about two girls staring wistfully at each other. There is nothing here to appeal to a horny male audience. It's something men can enjoy, for sure, because it is well written and well drawn, but it definitely feels like it's mostly for an older female audience that likes women. Or, of course, non binary folks like me. It's just so damn refreshing to see a story that isn't filled with tits and ass just for the sake of horniness. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with TNA, I can enjoy it a lot too, but it's important to remember that lesbian relationships and relationships between gay men aren't solely about sex. I love this book, and I am eagerly awaiting Volume 2. I can't recommend it enough to anyone that wants a low-key lesbian story that takes its time. And it should be obvious, it features tons of food. Honestly, if you're interested in Japanese cuisine, you should pick it up just for that reason. But it's still enjoyable even if you know nothing about food and aren't very interested in it either, like me. So if you want a yuri book about adults without a bunch of teenage drama that's light but big on heart, get She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat. Sakaomi Yuzaki has created a truly superb series. I'm Shaggy, and thank you for watching. Sorry about my voice, I've really had a lot of sickness troubles over the past month or two, and I'm still not quite back to 100%. But if you're interested in other queer manga, I made a video a while back talking about a bunch of them. Also, a video about I Want to Be a Wall, a manga about an asexual, aromantic woman getting married to a closeted gay man. It's a recent favorite of mine, just like She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat. And if you want to hear about more queer anime and manga, stay tuned, because I've got a lot of stuff planned. Again, thank you, and have a great day.